Hello, teacher. My name is Violeta Villaflores. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to speak about the text analyzing data. It implies organizing the data collected in order to study to what extent the objectives that we pretend have been achieved. The qualitative research data. The data have been collected through observations, interviews, diaries, or any other qualitative procedure. The information is gathered in recording or writing reports. The teacher has to identify the most important segments of the text according to an organized scheme. Two main techniques. In this text, there are two main techniques. The number one is inductive procedure. It is dividing of a set of categories for dealing with text segments from the text itself. The number two is deductive procedure. It is to apply a system of categories or a taxonomy to the data. Deductive and inductive, deductive research begins with a hypothesis or theory, and then researchers for evidence either to support or refute that hypothesis or theory. Inductive aims seeks to derive general principles, theories, or truths from an investigation and documentation of single instance. According to Tesch, there are some features to all qualitative research analyze. The number one is analysis of qualitative. It refers to the systematic, but it's not rigid. The number two is the main procedures. That is used to a comparison or a search for likeness and differences. The number three is compare and contrast. It refers to the need to be summarized and condensed. The number four, summarizing and organizing the organization and organizing the information. And there is some preliminary and tentative classification of categories emerge. The number five is qualitative analysis. That this process that demands deep involvement on the part of the researcher. And the number six, there is no way of analyzing. It is possible to analyze information in different ways. Another part is the analysis described. The number one, there are some characteristics that the terms means. The number one is the frequencies. How often? It's explained how often the terms means. The letter B, the central tendency measures. It provides information about the average and the typical behavior of subject. The letter C, the mean. In the group, divided by the number of subjects. The letter E, the median. It's a score which divides the group into two parts. So that half of the score are above and a half are below it. And the variability, it provides information of the differences or spread of the behaviors. The correlation research data are used to explore existing relation with variables. The positive correlation, it refers that there is a close relationship between both variables. And the negative correlation is the opposite view. And the correlation coefficient refers to range from negative or positive correlation. Another part is the multivariate research data. There are three aspects. The multiple regression that examine the relationship and the predictive power of independent variables. The number two is this discriminant analysis. That is the combination of independent variables distinguished between two or more categories. And the factor analysis, the interrelationships between and among the variables of the data are examined in an attempt. Experimental research data refers to two experimental parts. That is ANOVA, that is a similar statistical procedures, but can be used to compare 3 or more experimental groups. The chi-square is the computes the frequency with which the events being researched actually occur. And in the text, there are conclusions, and I'm going to read the most important that I think I could read in the text. An inquiring attitude in education demands certain qualities from teachers. That is the general background, the ability to inquire, the ability to identify the covert theories, the ability to design strategies, and openness to critical evaluation and reflection. Thank you so much for your attention, teacher. That is my presentation. I hope that I am okay.